Alright guys, so I said this next one would be a pretty short one. Just remember that our test is going to be on Friday, or Thursday. So Thursday, prepare for that. And it will be a free response, so there's no multiple choice. But anyways, so we're going to move on from naming ionic bonding to naming covalent bonding. So I will tell you the hardest part of this stuff is figuring out when are you using ionic, when are you using covalent. So really pay attention when you do these practice problems that you're starting to see, okay, when is it covalent, when is it ionic. And remember, it is covalent. It's covalent when it's really close together. So usually it's our rightmost elements that form those covalent bonds. And it's ionic when we have something from group 13 down and something from 15 over is going to be ionic. So opposites ties to the periodic table, you can think. But anyway, so naming molecular bonds or covalent bondings, very straightforward. Because we can have multiple, like we can have SO, we can have SO2, we can have SO3. We can't just do it one or like have just one single one like we did with ionic where it's like, hey, this is what this means. So instead what we do is we use prefixes. So we have 10 prefixes, and you should be very familiar with them. So really the first three or first four are kind of new, then the last six are our geometry terms. So when we have a atom of 1, we say mono. 2, we say di in front of it. So if you have that SO2, we would say dioxygen or oxide. 3 is tri, tetra. So the only thing we're doing when naming covalent bonds is we're going to put a prefix in them, and we're still going to take off that ending and put the "ide." So in order to do this, we're going to write the names of both elements. We are going to change the ending of the second element to "ide." Then we're going to place prefixes when we need to based on the number of atoms. So the only thing that you have to be aware of is mono is only used on the second nonmetal in a chemical formula. So you'll never have monosulfide something. It's always used just on the second element. So never mono in the first element. Alright, and again, if you have two vowels or two vowels in front, you're just going to take off the one vowel and replace it. So monooxide wouldn't be correct, it's just monoxide. Diiodide, it's just diiodide. So always when there's multiple vowels, just take off one of the vowels and move on. Alright, so let's give an example. So we have N and O3. So we first look up and put our names. So we have nitrogen, and we have oxygen, and we're going to take off the ending and put oxide, and we have 3 oxygens, so it's going to be trioxide. So nitrogen trioxide. I'm just going to rewrite it. So again, these are really straightforward. It's just, hey, put parentheses or know your prefixes. So nitrogen trioxide. Alright, our second one. We have a bigger molecule. We have 2 sulfurs and 6 chlorines. So again, start with sulfur. And we have chlorine, and we're going to turn it to chloride. And then we need our prefixes. So we have 2 sulfurs, so it's going to be disulfur, and 6, and that is 6 is hexa. And again, all I'm doing, I just know these really well, is I'm using my prefixes. So 6 hexa. So again, just get familiar with that chart and you should be fine. So now we want to turn our formula name into a molecule. Very easy. Since it's prefixes, it tells you exactly what to put. So we just have to figure out the order of them. And again, the first word always goes in front, then the next one. So we have dihydrogen monoxide. So dihydrogen is H2. O. And monoxide tells us there's one oxygen. Carbon tetrachloride, so we have a carbon, and we have a single one of those. Then we have tetra, and tetra means 4, so we have CCl4. And again, that's all there is to it. So work on those, practice those, and again, this one should take no time at all. These are really simple. But again, test on Thursday.